Assalomu alaykum hurmatli o'quvchilar. Xo'p, bizni bugun ham Zoom orqali, ham YouTube orqali tomosha qilishyapti. Hammaga assalomu alaykum. Demak, 10 daqiqa vaqtdan keyin boshlaymiz, 10 minutdan keyin. Ungacha ozgina kutib turamiz va kutib turmaymiz, ungacha gaplashamiz. Ungacha sizlar bilan yaqindan tanishamiz. Kimda nima demak savollari bor? Hozir 1 daqiqa. 1 sekund hozir.
Tursi.
Demak, menimcha hamma qo'shilyapti. Zoom'dagilar mikrofonlarni o'chirib qo'yamiz. Har doimgidek уже Zoom odob axloq qoidalarimizga amal qilgan holda bizni YouTube'dan ham tomosha qilishyapti. YouTube'dagilar demak bugungi streamimizga, jonli efirimizga xush kelibsiz. YouTube'ga hozir men biroz murojaatim bor edi. Bizni qayerdan eshityapsiz va yoshingiz nechida? Mana shu haqida komment qoldiring. Bugun xudo xolisa yana 10 minutdan keyin Mr. Adrian ham qo'shiladi va darslar boshlanadi. Siz bemalol o'zingizni savollaringizni, o'zingizni qiynagan savollaringizni berishingiz mumkin bo'ladi. Komment orqali yozasiz va biz kommentdan eshittiramiz. Assalomu alaykum, speaking kursmi hozir? Ha, albatta, biz ancha bo'ldi e'lon qilganimizga speaking kursi. Bugun speaking kurs emas, speaking dars. Navbatdagi Mr. Adrian. Yangi kirganlar iltimos mikrofonni o'chirib qo'yamiz. Munisa Trans o'chirib qo'yinglar va o'sha so'ralganda ismingiz o'qilganda iltimos mikrofonni yoqib gaplashsanglar bo'ladi, javob bersanglar bo'ladi. Xo'p, Nilufar, yangi kirganlar YouTube'dan albatta obuna bo'lib, qo'ng'iroqcha tugmasini bosib qo'ying. Bundan keyin mana shunaqangi jonli efirlar, ona tilisi ingliz bo'lgan o'qituvchilar bilan jonli efirlar va hokazo foydali videolar YouTube'da berib boramiz va xudo xolisa siz ham bundan foyda, manfaat olasiz degan umiddaman. Bizni hozir 19 ta odam tomosha qilyapti. Yomon emas. Demak, speaking va readingda muammo bor. Aha. Yana Namangan viloyati 20 yoshli Kumush Abdurahmonova. Azizbek Karimov Andijondan. Ulubek Alimbetov. Hi everyone. Hi Ulubek. Nilufar Moyliyevna. Hello debdilar. Bu nechinchi dars? Kumush Abdurahmonov. Bu endi bilmayman, bu 6-mi, 7-mi shunaqa dars. Va bugun hammaga ochiq anaqa qiladigan bo'ldik. Shuning uchun SMS bilan ham ko'pchilik yubordik. Sababi bugun biz ikkita yaxshi e'lonni oxirida yetkazamiz xudo xolisa. Birinchi e'lonimizni biz Uzun bank bilan shartnoma qildik, Uzun nasiya. Ya'ni u orqali siz bundan keyin bo'lib to'lash, oyma-oy arzon narxda bo'lib to'lash, bizning kurslarga bo'lib to'lash imkoniyatiga ega bo'lasiz va mana shu kurs oxirigacha qolganlarga men promo kod aytaman, o'sha promo kod bilan siz 20% chegirma ham bo'lib to'lash, ham 20% chegirmaga ega bo'lishingiz mumkin bo'ladi. Bu narsani oxirida tushuntirib beraman. Xo'p, ko'pmasmi? Nima ko'pmasmi? Ibrohimov Husayn Ibrohimov ko'pmasmi deb yozdingiz, nimaligini tushunmadim. Andijondan salom, Ikromjon Qosimjonov. Salom, assalomu alaykum. Omadbek Turg'unov. Andijondan. Tanishganimdan xursandman. Fergana 17 years old. Fatima. Okay, hi to everyone. Bugun xudo xolisa Mr. Adrian bilan gaplashamiz. Jonli bizani hozir Zoom'da nechta o'quvchi bo'ldi? 12 kishi bo'ldi Zoom'da. Zoom'dagi o'quvchilarimiz bilan Mr. Adrian dars qiladi. Sizlar ham bemalol tomosha qilasiz va ko'p narsa o'rganasiz, chunki ularni bitta tahlil qilinadi. Ko'p nimani speaking bo'yicha ko'p narsalar o'rgatadi va siz ham bundan juda ham zo'r foyda olishingiz mumkin. Undan tashqari, eng zo'r berilgan savollarning 2-3tasini YouTube'dan olamizda, 2-3ta emas, даже 5 tagacha YouTube'dan olib Mr. Adrian'ga beramiz. Mr. Adrian buni demak sizlarga javob beradi, tushuntirib beradi. Xo'p, meni o'zim ismim Sardor. MyTeacher haqida oldindan bilsangiz, xabaringiz bo'lsa, plus belgisini qo'ying. Agar hali bilmasangiz, minus belgisini qo'ying, iltimos. Hop. Yana 5 daqiqadan keyin boshlaymiz, o'rtoqlar. 5 minutgina endi ozgina sabr qilasiz va savollarni yo'llayvering. Plus. Savollarni beraveringlar. Savollarning hammasini keyin oxirida o'qib eshittiramiz va javobini olamiz, xudo xolisa Mr. Adriandan. Foydali dars bo'ladi deb o'ylayman inshaalloh. Xo'sh. writing yozolmayapman. Nigora uvun deb yozdilar. Mahfuza Almatova. Bilmayman nima deganlar ma'noni bildiradi bu. Hop, Zoom orqali уже 21 kishi qo'shildi o'quvchilarimiz. O'quvchilar yaxshimisizlar o'zi? Charchamayapsizlarmi? Darsda qanaqa ketyapti? Kecha Sabrina bilan nima bo'lmay qoldi. Sabrina mazasi bo'lmay qoldi agar esingizda bo'lsa va xudo xolisa endi bugun Mr. Adrian bilan va ertaga davom etadi yana darslar. Da mikrofoningni yoqib gapirishinglar mumkin. Abdullajonova Fotima zo'r, Laylo Ro'zimatova zo'r. Rahmat. Hop. Okay. Yana 3 daqiqadan keyin men o'ylaymanki Mr. Adrian qo'shilib qoladilar va biz yondiramiz. Mr. Adrian har doim yondiradi-yu. Shunaqa bo'ladi xudo xolisa. Bu yerda nima o'rgatiladi? Maktab o'quvchisi qo'shilsa bo'ladimi? 50 dan oshganlar sertifikati borlar masalan. Roziya Po'latova savol berdilar. Qarang, Roziya Po'latova bu yerda bilasiz, biz hozirda kanadalik Mr. Adrian bilan birga ishlaymiz. Ularni kurslarini O'zbekistonga olib kirganmiz va har oyda bir marta Mr. Adrianni shaxsan o'zi ham Mr. Adrianni ko'pchilik taniydi. U IELTS oluvchi, imtihon oluvchi o'qituvchilardan biri, IDP IELTS bilan hamkorligi bor, hamda o'zini juda kuchli kursi bor va YouTube'da 2,5 milliondan ortiq podpishchiki bor. Adashmasam 2,5 ga yaqin. O'sha kishi bilan bizning o'quvchilar, MyTeacherdan kurs sotib olgan o'quvchilar gaplashadi. Jonli gaplashadi, savol-javob qiladi, o'rganadi. O'sha jarayonni biz hozir YouTube'da to'g'ridan-to'g'ri efirga chiqaryapmiz. Sizlar ham o'zingizlarni qiziqtirgan savollar bo'lsa, savol berishinglar mumkin va undan zo'r maslahatlar olishinglar mumkin. Ya'ni savol bersanglar, o'sha savolinglarni yetkazaman va javob olishinglar mumkin. Undan ham tashqari bizning o'quvchilarga berayotgan maslahatlarini tomosha qilib boring. O'ta foydali bo'ladi. Tak. Ketdik. Istagan odam qatnashishi mumkin. Maktab o'quvchisi bo'lsa ham, sal-pal tushunsa ham, harakat qilsa ham, o'sha nima harakat qilsin tushunishga. Xo'p, Timurjan Xolov, ask him to improve speaking and methods teaching speaking. Okay. Timurjon, agar nima qilsangiz, qarab tursangiz, imенно mana shu speakingni improve qilish bo'yicha zo'r advice'lar beradi. Yulduz Usmonova listening writingda qiynalaman. Listening podcastlariga yaxshi tushunaman, lekin IELTS listeninglarni tushunishga qiynaman. Listening writingda qiynalaman. Listening podcastlariga yaxshi tushunaman, lekin IELTS listeninglarni tushunishga bo'ldi, tushunarli. Bu savolingizni yetkazishga harakat qilamiz. Bu yerda nima o'rgatiladi? Sertifikat yo'qlar demoqchi edim. Sertifikat yo'qlar, qarang, bu yerda IELTS masalasi bo'ladi. Shuning uchun u narsa o'zingizga bog'liq. Bir daqiqadan keyin menimcha Mr. Adrian qo'shiladilar. Qanday qilib tezroq IELTS olsam bo'ladi? Onlayn o'qiganim yaxshimi yoki offlayn o'qiganim yaxshimi? Sizlarda qancha vaqtda ingliz tilini to'liq o'rgatishadi? Ikromjon Rahmonov. Bu platforma haqida men oxirroqda tushuntirishim mumkin. Onlayn albatta o'rgansangiz bo'ladi. Albatta mana shu stilni ko'ring. Menimcha sizga ham foydali bo'ladi. Ko'ring va keyin o'zingiz xulosa chiqaring. Guys, we have here Mr. Adrian. Mr. Adrian, welcome. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Just give me one second, please.
I'm letting you share your screen and share. Please mute everybody your microphones. Guys, we have here.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, everyone. My name is Adrian, and we are here to learn IELTS. Just give me 1 second to get my screen up and going here with everyone.
Today
all right.
We are live streaming on YouTube also, Mr. Adrian.
Yes, I saw that. That's great.
Thanks.
Excellent.
We're trying to improve everything, yeah.
Okay, everybody can see my screen now. Everyone, you have emojis in Zoom, so you can do like a thumbs up emoji if you can see my screen. And when I ask you questions and make sure that you are listening and understanding what I'm talking about, you can do little emojis like thumbs up. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. Yeah, I see the emojis from Abdullah Janova for sure, and a couple others. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Shardor, for having me here today. It's lovely to be here again, as you know, we do each month, right? So it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yes.
Good to see you.
We love your lessons. We all love your lessons. Yes.
And I love being here. I truly have a great respect for all of the people in Uzbekistan. I find Uzbeki people to be extremely hardworking and respectful, and it's lovely to work with all of you. All right, everybody. So I will give you a little bit of information about me, about IELTS, and then I will explain our goal for today's session. So today, right now, we're looking at a full IELTS speaking section. That's the best help that I can give you in these 1 to 2 hour classes, is to just go over speaking questions, and then we can talk about strategies, grammar, vocabulary. So that's what we will do today. And today I will focus a lot on speaking part 2 and speaking part 3. Last month, we focused more on speaking part 1. Does that sound good, everybody? So more focus on speaking part 2, speaking part 3 today. The cue card, thumbs up. If that's yes, okay. I see my teacher saying that sounds good. All right. Okay, so a little bit just about me for those of you who don't know me or haven't heard about me. So I have been training for IELTS for almost 20 years. Just real quickly, everyone, if you're not speaking, make sure to mute your microphone. Otherwise, we hear everything that happens in the background, maybe some words or ideas you don't want us to hear. So just mute your microphone if you're not.
Mikrofonlarni o'chirib qo'yamiz. Mikrofonni o'chirib qo'yamiz. Iltimos, please mute yourself.
Yeah, there's a little button there to mute yourself. Okay. So I am the owner of 2 of the most popular YouTube channels for IELTS in the world, Academic English Help and General English Help, and the websites aehelp.com and glshelp.com. And we work together with IELTS, MyTeacher Uzbekistan, to help students prepare for the exam. And if you have any questions, you can send us an email. You can send MyTeacher an email. We can help you, and MyTeacher can help you access our courses as well. I will show you that very quickly. This is our academic IELTS website here. We use the materials from our website, the practice exams, the audio materials, the interactive course, and MyTeacher uses it also. So to get all of this helpful material, just contact MyTeacher, contact us, and we can help you to learn for the IELTS effectively. All right. We have apps, we have Instagram. This is our email here if you want to send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. And now we'll get into the IELTS speaking. So the IELTS speaking is a 12 to 15 minute interview that's usually done in person. You have to sit with the examiner and one-on-one speak English with the examiner. And it has 3 parts. So as I mentioned, today we will focus on part 2 and part 3. Now, IELTS is not an English as a second language exam. That's a really important point to keep in mind. It is an English proficiency exam. IELTS is an exam that's also taken by native English speakers as well for immigration or for university. It is an equivalency exam, so it can be equal to like high school or college English as well. So if somebody does not have high school English, they didn't finish high school in Canada or Australia or the UK, but they want to go to college or university, and maybe they're like 25 years old, they don't want to go back to high school, they can take an IELTS exam to show their English level. So IELTS is not just for non-English speakers. It's very important to keep that in mind, because IELTS is not just measuring your English in the speaking section. Okay. It's not just by English, I mean like vocabulary and grammar. So it's not just measuring your vocabulary and grammar. It's also measuring another aspect. Anybody know what that is? So it's not just measuring your English, it's also measuring what else? Anybody know? Let's see if somebody's got a hand up. So let's do let's first. So
Logical thinking.
that was that Zebosha?
Yeah, logical thinking maybe. Or critical.
Yeah, you could say that, Zabosha. So it's measuring your communication skills. And essentially, Zabosha, that's what it is. So communication skills in a big way are your logical and critical thinking. So for example, here's a question. How often do you go on holiday? Sometimes candidates will say, I go on holidays in summer. I went to France last year. I was in Paris. It's such a beautiful city. And it's a low band score. It might be okay English, but it's because the student is talking about their last holiday. They're not actually talking about how often they go on a holiday. So that's the communication part of the exam. So it's very important that you're always answering the question, not what you want to say or not off-topic ideas, okay? Very, very important, all right? Especially those high bands. So especially like band 7, band 8, band 9, those are the bands people want for university and for rapid entry visas. So for those levels, you really have to pay attention to the questions. Okay, so you can ask me questions throughout the session. I will do my best to incorporate, so to combine your questions with the lesson. If I don't answer your question, don't worry. Again, you can always email me the question. What I will do now is I will go through part 1 with some volunteers, nice and smooth, just to warm you up, to give you some ideas, and then we'll get into part 2 and part 3, okay? So who would like to practice just these first couple of questions, and I will give you everybody strategies and tips as we do this together. So do we have a volunteer? I see that Abdullah Genova has had their hand up for a while. Abdullah Genova, can you unmute yourself if you want to try?
Sure.
Abdullah Jonova, mikrofoningizni yoqib gapirsangiz bo'ladi.
If you want to try. If not, no pressure. Maybe it's just a question, right?
Okay, if you want, agar xohlasangiz.
There was somebody else that unmuted themselves, so we can take somebody else. I can't read the Cyrillic, so you'll have to help me with that, because some people have their names in English, some people have them in Uzbek or Cyrillic, so I can't read those. So you'll have to help me with those. Okay.
May I try?
Sure. This is Lobar?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, let's start with Lobar. Okay. We've got lots of time, so many people will have a chance. Lobar, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Lobar. All right. Welcome, Lobar. Just a question. Have you ever done the IELTS before, like the official test? No.
No, never.
Okay.
No.
All right. So basically the way that it works is you go to your IELTS speaking. You have to be there at least 20 minutes before, but I recommend going there at least an hour before. So you get comfortable, familiar with the exam center, and practice your English with other people who are waiting for their speaking. So go talk to somebody, take questions like this with you and say, hey, let's practice a little bit. Let's get going. Okay. That can easily save you like a full band score. It's a very, very bad idea to go to the IELTS speaking and only start speaking English during the interview. That's a bad idea. So you have to start speaking English way earlier. Okay. Lobar? All right.
I see.
So Lobar, let's do this. Let's jump into some questions. Are you ready to practice a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how it works. So welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. I'm recording it for marking and clerical purposes. We are currently conducting this exam in Tashkent. The exam center is 759YQ, examiner number 77895, candidate number 98432234. Let's begin. Can I see your identification?
Yes, you can see my identification. Here is my identification that I used for register. to this type of exam.
What is your full name?
My full name is Yahyaeva Labar.
Where do you live?
I live in Kokand, which is situated in the center of Fergana region.
Do you work or study?
Yes, I currently work as a teacher, as an English teacher, and at an ordinary school for about 10 years.
Xalaq bermalaring bor, memorialab olsa.
Okay. Let's just stop there real quick. So with the introductions. Okay, so that would be considered about a band 6 introduction, Lobar, so fluent English. I can tell that you are fluent and you can speak without too much hesitation, so you can get your ideas out, which is good. Okay, so fluent, it's a good start. 6 to 6.5. Now, band 7 is where we get into the range of good English. And for the introductory questions, for these questions, you really want to have accurate, natural sounding English. Okay, so these warm-up questions really focus on accurate and natural. Okay, English. So you have to practice these because they're always the same. Okay, so can I see your identification, or may I see your identification? They will always ask this. Now, some people watch, a lot of YouTube channels, and some YouTube channels say, don't worry about these first questions. They don't mark you on them anyway. No, so technically they don't. Technically, they are not marking you. So they're not putting down any marks on their paper. By the way, the examiner is marking during the speaking interview, but technically they're not marking for these first couple of questions, technically, but in their head, they are marking you. Okay. So of course they're listening to your language and how natural and how accurate your language is when you're giving your name or showing your identification. So it's a first impression. And even though they're technically not marking you, it's very important that this first impression is a good impression. Okay. So when you have this, can I see your identification? Make sure that you have a clean, clear, confident answer. Okay. So yes, you can see my identification. Here's my identification that I used. Try not to double. Okay. So try to just have one clear answer. So here is my identification that I used to register for not this type of exam, because this type of exam is awkward, for this exam. So for this very exam. Okay. And then please take a look.
Okay.
So just a very nice, clear, confident answer. Lobar, can you repeat this? And everybody else, please repeat also. Just keep yourself muted. So Lobar, I will say it one more time. When I'm finished, just repeat after me. Copy not just my words, but also copy my intonation, my pronunciation, okay? So okay, mute your mics if you're not. Mute your mics. Okay, can I see your identification? Here's my identification that I used to register for this exam. Please take a look. Lobar, can I see your identification?
Identification that I used to register for this exam. Please take a look.
Okay, good. Yes. So that level of confidence and fluency. Okay. Now, this question here, where do you live? These are very common questions. Where do you live? Do you work or study? Very, very common. So again, be ready for these questions. So he said, I live in Kolkand, which is situated in the center of the Korkana region. That's what I understood. Okay, that's okay. That's a good start. Now, here's where you want to pay attention to structure and clarity. So you gave me the name of the town and the region, so the small and the big. Okay, you should include your residence here. So I live in a 3-bedroom house in the city of Kokand, which is situated in the center of the Kokana region. I have lived here for the past You can do it when you repeat. You can correct it. Okay. So I have lived here for the
Great.
past, you can correct me, for the past 20 years.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So small to big. So house, city, region.
I
Okay.
see.
You can go the other way. You can also go region, city, house. Just make sure that you have structure. Okay. So always practice structure in your thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. I live in a 3-bedroom house in the city of Kokand, which is situated in the Kordana region. I have lived here for the past 20 years. Where do you live?
I live in a 3-bedroom house in the city of Kokand, which is situated in the center of the Fergana region. I have lived here for the past 20 years.
Okay, good. Again, so very accurate with these first few questions. Do you work or study? I currently work as an English teacher at a government school for the past decade. Can you repeat after me? I currently work as an English teacher at a government school for the past decade.
I currently work as an English teacher at an what's called
Government school.
government school for about decades. A decade.
Yeah. Decade is 10 years. So if you
Decades,
know the
yes, decade.
if you know the vocabulary, use it. Okay. Even though you're not getting marked, you want to show that you have range of vocabulary. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Lobar, I appreciate the help for the introductory questions. Hang
Thank
in
you.
there. Okay. And we'll look at the other questions here. So thank you, Lobar.
Thank you
Thumbs
too.
up. All right. Keep it up. Thanks, Lobar. Okay. Who would like to volunteer for the next few questions? So again, we're just warming up, giving you some ideas of what to think about. And don't take notes, everybody. This is being live streamed. We are recording this so you can watch this again later and take notes later on. Right now, just really focus, okay? Who would like to go next? You can just maybe unmute yourself and I'll pick somebody. So I'm looking through the entire list here. So whoever would like to just chime in, raise your hand. I don't think I can unmute you unless Shardor gives me hosting. Who's this?
Malika.
One more time, your name, please.
Malika Rajappa, may I?
Malika?
Yeah.
Hi, Malika. Sure, yes. Jump on in.
Mhm.
Okay, there I see you. And oh, there you were. There you are. Where were you? I even saw your video. That was great. Let me see if I can. It's good to, by the way, it's really good to actually watch each other when you're practicing because a lot of communication is visual. So if you do have video, if you can use it, then use it. Okay, Malika?
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
All right, Malika, there you are. We're going to jump into these part 1 questions. Have you done the IELTS before, the official IELTS exam?
Yeah, sure. About a year ago, I had the IDP IELTS examination and my score was 6.5.
That's good. Okay, that's solid. So 6.5 is the base score for university usually. And it's also kind of the minimum score you want to get if you are looking for immigration as well. So it's the minimum, but for immigration, it's kind of interesting because they will take 5.5, but they actually prefer much higher scores like 7.5 or 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Malika, let's do this. So I will ask you some questions. Just give me nice full sentence answers. Okay.
Okay, I'll try.
All right. Now, Malika, I'm going to give you a tip before we start this time. So when you are giving your answer, you should always think about including an explanation. So give the answer and then because or since or as a result. Okay, so always think about giving the explanation. That will lead to higher fluency scores, better grammar, vocabulary. So always think about the explanation and sometimes include an example as well. Okay?
Okay.
All right, stay on topic. Here we go. So let's talk about your holiday activities. How often do you go on a holiday?
Well, although I have a busy schedule, I wouldn't have enough time to go on holiday. However, when I have free time, especially in summer, I try to go on a holiday somewhere else, which is situated in any part of Uzbekistan.
You prefer to travel or stay at home on your holiday?
Without any shadow of a doubt, I would prefer to travel, especially to wilderness destinations I would like to go.
Okay. All right. Let me give you some feedback on those two answers for you real quick before we continue. All right. So nice fluency. Yeah, definitely a 6.5. Okay. So that's about the right range, Malika. It's about a 6.5 for sure. I think you could actually get a 7 quite quickly with a little bit of change to your communication. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The first change that I would make right away is stop using modals so much. Okay. So notice how you use the word would. And I know that a lot of students learn this, use modals to sound polite. Okay. Like I would like to do this. I would like to do that. You use the would quite a few times. It's okay once or twice during the speaking interview, but definitely not 3 times and 4 times in one question or 2 questions. Okay. So yes, it's polite, but it's confusing. So strangely, polite language is often very confusing language. Because we don't understand what you're trying to say. So it's like, would you or wouldn't you? Like, what would you like to do? Right? So what you want to do, Malika, is you want to be affirmative. Okay, it's called affirmative language. Like, I go here in the summer. I go this many times because I have time during the summer since I get 3 weeks for vacation in the summer. So affirmative language is confident language and it's much clearer language. Okay. Also, don't force grammar. So like you said here, although I have a busy schedule, excuse me. So you started with what's called a subordinating conjunction, and you started with the dependent clause. It's nice, complex grammar, and I appreciate that. But I could tell that you were forcing it, like you were just trying to push it in there to use it. So it's not absolutely necessary, and I think it will come more naturally when you just kind of be yourself. So don't try to force it. What I recommend is start with the independent clause and just be more fluent. So something like this. Well, I like to go travel as much as possible, even though or although. We'll go with an even though here, even though I have a busy schedule. Okay. Now, here, make sure you pay attention to the question, how often? Okay. And this is a very important tip for everybody. We're going to use this in part 2 and part 3 as well. Use numbers. Okay. Numbers make clear communication. All right. So I go at least once or twice each year. Especially during the summer, because that's when I get time off work. And then a quick example, like I went to Samarkand for a week last June or last July. Okay, let's try this, Malika. So I'm going to say it and then just repeat after me. So here I'm going with the independent clause first, then the dependent clause. It's usually smoother, easier. It's still a complex sentence. Okay. By the way, everybody, if you're not familiar with independent, dependent clause, subordinating conjunctions, it's very important to learn that. Okay. I'm sure that MyTeacher Uzbekistan, we as well can help you with that if you have questions. Okay. I don't want to go into too many grammar lessons in this class. All right, so here we go. Well, I like to travel as much as possible, even though I have a busy schedule. I go at least once or twice each year, especially during the summer, because that's when I get time off work. I went to Samarkand for a week last July. Malika, how often do you go on a holiday?
Well, I like to travel as much as possible, even though I have a busy schedule. I go at least once or twice each year, especially during the summer, because that's when I get time off work. And I went to Samarkand for a week last July.
Okay. Notice, Malika, how that really answers that question of how often do you go on a holiday? Like it really targets that specific question very clearly, right? So that's what you want to do, and use affirmative language. No, I would or I could, but I do, I can, I will. Okay, practice that. Okay, yeah. So, and then I believe that you can go to a 7, even a 7.5 very quickly, because your pronunciation, your fluency, your grammar, to me, seem like they're definitely in the band 7.5 range. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Malika, thanks so much. Let's take somebody else for the next couple of questions.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye, Malika.
Bye.
All right. I believe we had somebody from the
May I?
later on in the list.
Sir, may I?
Just a sec. Who was the gentleman? Let's take a gentleman this time. We've had 2 ladies. Let's take a gentleman this time. Who was the gentleman that was saying may I? Just remember, I can't read the Cyrillic, so you have to say your name. Who is this? Everybody else? Yeah.
Again, repeat this.
Yes, you can. What is your name, sir?
My name is Sadle.
Sadle? Sadle?
Yeah. A-S-I-D-I-A-L-L-A.
Sadle. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, Sadle. Why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I'm sorry. I understand you. What?
Why are you taking the IELTS exam?
My dream is not IELTS. I want only learn for business.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Also, I have IELTS.
Okay. IELTS is good for business for sure. So to get a high score in the IELTS exam is very helpful for business. So businesses like to see good scores on the IELTS exam, and people who can get a band 7, 8, or 9 on the IELTS definitely will have effective English for business negotiations, building a business, international trade. So that's a good idea. Okay, let me ask you a question. Give me a nice full sentence answer. Are you ready?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
I agree here.
Here we go. Who do you like to spend your holidays with?
My holiday. I usually go mountain. My country.
Who do you like to spend your holiday with?
Clean mountain. Clean.
Who do you like to spend your holiday with?
Yeah. My family. With family. My brother and mother. And brother, son.
Okay.
I have niece.
All right. Let me stop there and give you some feedback. So according to the IELTS, your current English level is about a band 3.5. Okay. So that means you Yeah, so it's about a 3 to 3.5. So that means you're able to answer the question with a significant amount of help in a very simple kind of way. Okay, so that's what it means. Now, IELTS, again, it's an English proficiency exam, everybody. So what the examiner does when you don't answer the question correctly is they repeat the question or they jump the question. So just like what I did right now, if you start answering that you go to the mountain and it's not about the mountain, but it's who do you like to go with, then they might repeat one more time if they think you can answer it. If they don't think you can answer the question, they will just jump to the next question. Okay. Now, one way that you can answer the question fluently and accurately is by using the question. This is a very important tip, and this will become even more important for part 3, okay? Because part 3 questions become much more challenging. So use the question to answer the question. All right. This is very, very important. Okay, so use the question to answer the question. So when the question is, who do you like to spend your holidays with? You can start by saying, I like to spend my vacations with my family, usually my brother and my parents, because we are comfortable with each other and we always have a blast. Have a blast is kind of slang for having a fun time, and it's okay to use this kind of natural language or slang, especially in part 1, okay? In fact, I encourage it because it shows a higher level of communication, okay? Only use idioms or slang if you know that you are using them correctly. Never, ever use an idiom or slang if you're not 100% sure about it, okay? It's very important because otherwise it's very confusing. All right, so use the question. Does everybody understand this concept, using the question? Thumbs up, yes? It's a very important tip, okay? It adds to your fluency, it keeps you on the topic, and it makes sure that you're using good ideas and you're staying with the ideas from start to finish, hopefully. Okay, everybody good on that? So use the question. If you can paraphrase it, that's even better, but just use the question, okay? Yes? I don't see any thumbs up emojis. That makes me worried. Either A, you don't understand, or B, you're not listening to me.
No, I haven't.
All right. Thank you for that verbal confirmation. That's great. All right. Okay, Sadila. So here we go. I'm going to ask the question again. Sadila, just repeat after me, okay? So I like to spend my vacations with my family, usually my brother and my parents, because we're comfortable with each other and we always have a blast. Sadila, who do you usually spend your holidays with?
Can you repeat it again?
Yes. I like to spend my vacations with my family, usually my brother and my parents, because we are comfortable with each other and we always have a blast.
Ular bilan xursandmisiz?
Bering, qaytarib bering, Saydulla.
Sadila, repeat me.
Mikrofonlarni o'chiramiz.
Unaqa chiqib bo'ladi.
You can just read it. You
Sabdilla,
can just read it from the screen.
Madina opa, Zibogul, hamma mikrofonini o'chirsa iltimos.
Man javob berayotgandim hozir.
O'qib bering, Saydulla, shu narsani
Stay in English, everybody. Stay in English. Don't switch. Don't switch to languages. So just stay in English, okay? Just stay in English. Don't switch languages when you're learning English.
Okay,
This
I
is
like
very
to
important,
spend
everyone. Yeah, go ahead.
my vacations with my family, usually my brother and my parents, because we are comfortable with each other and we always have a blast.
Okay, good. All right, Sadila. So use the questions when you're practicing. Okay, lots of practice. Don't sit the IELTS anytime yet. So definitely a few months of practice. and make sure to use the questions when you're answering, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for volunteering. That was very brave of you, thank you. All right, Zuhriddin, would you like to try the next one?
I want.
Zuhriddin, would you like to try the next one?
Yes, of course, I will try.
Okay, Zuhriddin, the reason I'm selecting Zuhriddin, everybody, is because he's very studious. He's always here. He's always learning. And he's so polite. He never volunteers. He always lets everybody go before him. So that's why, Zuhriddin, I'm making you try this time, because I know you're going to wait until the very end. And if I don't get you to try, so I want you to try, okay? All right, Zuhriddin, good for you, by the way, for studying. I know I see you here, I think, every month in these live sessions, and that's awesome. That's the right attitude. That's the right thinking for success. So good for you. Zuhriddin, why are you taking the IELTS?
As I said last time, I'm going to continue my master degree in foreign countries, like Eastern countries like Canada or America. Unfortunately, I missed a chance to get a visa to America. I was a winner, a green card. So.
I see. Okay, well, I think that you will definitely succeed with the way that you approach life. So I think you'll be fine. Okay, Zuhriddin, that's great. And by the way, that is very good communication that you said, as I said before, in the IELTS, making connections between your answers using phrases like, as I said before, or as I had mentioned, that's a really good idea. So smart thinking, Zuhriddin, right away. Okay, Zuhriddin, let me jump into a question with you. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Has the way you spend your time on holidays changed compared to 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was really boring my vacation 10 years ago, but now it has been perfect recently because I spent my holiday with my family, especially with my brother, because my brother always is far from me. We meet very rarely. That's why he's with me nowadays. So he spent a lot of time far from me. That's why I can say.
All right, I'll stop you there, Zuhriddin. You can't just keep talking. You have to stop. All right. This is an important tip for everybody. Don't just keep talking. I let Zuhriddin talk here, but in the real exam, the examiner will interrupt you. Okay. And it makes for very awkward and difficult communication when you're being interrupted. Okay. Let me just reflect on this, Zuhriddin, and we'll clean it up. So your band score there would be about a 5 to 5.5. Okay. You need to be more fluent to get a band 6. So band 6 is fluent. Okay. It's like the first two ladies that we had. You have to speak with that fluency to get a band 6. Okay. Fluency is important because it affects the natural and the coherent sound of your language. Okay. All right. So this question, what's the grammar here, Zuhriddin, of this question? Has the way you spend your time on holidays changed? What's the grammar here?
Perfect.
It is, yes, very good. It's present perfect, right? So it's very important, everyone, in the IELTS exam that you reflect the grammar of questions right away, okay? I'll give you a little trick. I don't like saying trick, but I'll give you a little trick to do this. It's the easiest way to do this. When you hear the present perfect, like has it changed, just right away say, yes, it has, okay? Or no, it hasn't. Okay? Positive is usually easier, but negative is okay too. Just make sure you use the present perfect. So yes, it has, okay? That's the easiest. Zuhriddin, repeat after me. Yes, it has.
Yes, it has.
It has changed quite a bit over the past decade. It has changed quite a bit over the past decade.
It has changed quite a bit over the past
decade.
Right?
Again, that decade means 10 years. Okay. So here, what you are doing is showing the examiner that I see that it's present perfect. I can use present perfect. I'm going to use present perfect twice right away, once, twice. That way, the examiner on their sheet, when you do that, you will actually see the examiner look at their sheet. They'll use their pen. They'll mark some little box. They're basically saying or marking that the candidate can use complex grammar. Okay. And your band score is going up, right? So it has changed quite a bit over the past decade. My vacations used to be boring because my parents always took me to museums. Okay. But now I have been going on vacations with my brother, and we always do exciting activities. We went raving in Ibiza last June. Okay, there you go, Zucchini. There's some exciting vacation for you. You're in Ibiza, having the party of your life. How does that sound? Good?
Okay. I
haven't done it, but it's been a dream of mine. Now I'm too old. All right. Do it before you get too old, everybody. All right, here we go. So I'm going to repeat this, Zucchini, and then copy after me. Are you ready?
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, it has. It has changed quite a bit over the past decade. My vacations used to be boring because my parents always took me to museums, but now I've been going on vacations with my brother, and we always do exciting activities. We went to Ibiza raving last June. Has the way you spend your time on vacations or holidays changed compared to 10 years ago?
Yes, it has. It changed quite a bit over the past decade. My vacation used to be boring because my parents always took me to museum. But now I've been going on vacation with my brother, and we always doing exciting activities. We went raving in Ibiza last June.
Okay, good. All right, so reflect the grammar of questions, everybody, okay?
I always feel difficult to second and third part questions.
That's what we're going to do right now, Zucchini. That's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to jump to those questions right now, okay? And for everybody else who's watching, hang in there because I'll be getting your help with this. So thank you, Zucchini, for helping me with that one last question. Okay, everybody. So again, make sure that you're repeating also these important strategies. I'm going to skip these last two questions because I definitely want to get into part two questions and part three questions, as I mentioned. So when the examiner is satisfied with part one, there is no set number of questions, by the way. Sometimes students ask me, like, how many questions does the examiner ask me? It depends. So it depends on your fluency. It depends on your ability to answer the questions. If you are very fluent, if you're a band 7.5, 8, 8.5, they can ask you a lot of questions because you're going to speak very fluently and they have lots of time. If you're less fluent, they'll ask you less questions. It's not about the number of questions, it's about the time. So they spend about 5 minutes on introductions and part one, okay? And then they say, that is the end of part one. We will now continue with part two. For this part, I will show you a card with some questions on it. You will have 1 minute to read these questions. You can take notes in this 1 minute time if you wish, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Describe a game or sport you enjoy playing. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. And then suddenly you have 1 minute, 60 seconds to think about your answer and to plan your ideas and to give a 1 to 2 minute little talk about this, okay? Your goal for part 2 is to talk for 1 to 2 minutes in a clear, well-structured way without repeating the same information again and again, okay? So the 2 biggest mistakes that happen with candidates in their part 2 is they don't have structure. So they talk about a lot of ideas and it becomes very confusing because the ideas are very random, okay? And the other very common situation that happens is students get nervous, they don't have ideas, they forget to look at the questions, they forget to look at their notes, and they repeat the same sentence again and again, maybe in a little bit different ways, but the same sentence. Like, I like to play football, so I really enjoy playing football. Football is my favorite sport. It's such a fun game to play football. And all I'm saying is that I like football. The examiner will kind of go, okay, let's go on to part 3. So new information, that's your goal, okay? Now, how do you do that, right? So what do you do? How do you do that? The 1 minute preparation time is very, very important, okay? So you need to have good structure and you need to have good content and information. Part 2, this cue card or these questions, they usually have a little booklet that they show this to you in, okay? So there's basically 5 different kinds of groups of questions or categories, okay? This one, well, let me just tell you what they are. So in part 2, you might talk about a person. So the examiner might ask you to talk about your best friend. They might ask you to talk about an object. Okay, so talk about a gift you gave to somebody. So an object, okay? They might ask you to talk about a place. So a place that you would like to visit for a vacation, okay? They might ask you to talk about an event. So talk about the most important celebration in your life in the last 2 years, okay? So they might ask you about an event or an idea, okay? So talk about a business idea to make a lot of money, for example, okay? So it's going to be one of these 5 or sometimes kind of a combination, but focus on one of these 5. So person, object, place, event, idea. For those of you planning to sit the IELTS exam in the near future, okay, it's very, very important that you practice part 2 questions about a person, about an object, about a place, an event, or an idea. So when you go to your IELTS exam, whatever that part 2 question is, or whichever one it is, you can feel comfortable. Okay, does everybody understand this? So does everybody understand that it's one of these 5 kind of concepts? Person, object, place, event, idea. Okay. All right. Yes.
May I try?
May I try?
Don't try yet. You don't know what you're doing yet. Okay. Just let me tell you what you need to do first. All right. So you can later, but let me explain this to you. Okay, so this one, describe a game or sport you enjoy playing. What is it? Is it a person? Is it an object? Is it a place? Is it an event or an idea? Which one of these 5 is this?
Object.
It's an event. No, it's an event.
Event, no? Event.
Yeah.
Event.
There you
Event.
go. Yeah, exactly. So it's closest to an event. Okay. Because when you play a sport, that happens, right? It's an event that is happening. All right. Okay. When you talk about an event, what is important to tell the person so they understand you clearly? You can just shout it out. This is where everybody can unmute and you can just yell at me. So when you talk about an event, what is important to include for the person, for the listener?
Event, no?
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, if I talk to you about an event, so an event that happened in my life or an event that I like to be in, like a wedding or a birthday, what should I tell you so you can understand me clearly? What should I include?
Maybe place?
Yeah, the place, location. Yeah, absolutely. The location of the event. Yeah, what else?
And person. Who?
What's the
playing.
purpose?
Yeah, so the attendees is the who, the people, right? That
People.
go to this event. Sure. So the location, the attendees, what else?
Activity maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Activities, right? What happens at that event? Activities.
Yes.
Okay, sure. What else?
You enjoy or don't?
Yeah, exactly. That's your experience,
Experiences.
You
right?
enjoy
So,
it or
mhm.
don't?
Yeah, and there's one more. Maybe somebody said it, the time of the event, okay?
Yeah.
So when you talk about an event, you want to talk about the location, the time, the people, the activities, the experience. As long as you include all of these, you will have good structure, good communication, okay? Doesn't have to be very complicated, just has to be clear. So let's say that I'm talking about basketball. I like basketball myself. I played it all my life, okay? So first of all, don't just think of one idea. So think of a few ideas. So think of basketball, football, maybe badminton. Okay, so I play all of these sports. I play floor hockey. Okay, so think about a few different ideas and then choose one. So I'm going to talk about basketball. Okay, so location, local gym, 5-minute walk at a high school. Okay, so that's the location of where I play basketball. Okay, the time, every Thursday, maybe 7 to 9 p.m. Okay, with my friends. Okay, friends and strangers is drop-in basketball for adults, and it's men's basketball. Okay. All right, so that's the attendees. And then the activities, warm up, stretch, 2 games. Okay, so those are the activities. Experience, okay. Camaraderie means building friendships, relationships. Fun, stress release. Okay, so what I'm doing here is basically my notes in the 1 minute, right? So I have that 1 minute preparation time. And as I'm explaining this to you, especially those people who want to volunteer, you should do the same, okay? So do what I'm doing. Think about the sport that you enjoy playing. Think about where it is, so the location, the time that you play it, the people who you play it with or who are there, maybe watching, maybe a coach, maybe a trainer, okay? Think about the activities, not just actually playing the sport, but what you do, okay? And then your experience. And then, very importantly, before your 1 minute preparation time is up, prepare your first sentence, okay? So always look at the question. Here the question is, describe a game or sport you enjoy playing, okay? What kind of sport it is, who do you enjoy playing it with, where and when do you play it? Notice how a lot of those ideas are in the questions. Explain why you enjoy playing this sport. Okay, so use this, describe a game or sport you enjoy playing, okay? So here, my first sentence, the sport that I really have a lot of fun playing each week is drop-in basketball. Okay. All right. So the first sentence should always be a very direct sentence that answers the question. On YouTube and in many other IELTS courses and classes, they will tell you that you should start by saying, well, there are a lot of sports that I enjoy playing. I like to play floor hockey, badminton, football, but the sport that I would like to talk about today is basketball. Okay, this is bad. This is not good. This will lead you to a band 6. It's fluent, but it's not good English, or it's not excellent English, okay? In excellent English, we answer ideas directly and give details, all right? So make sure to, again, follow the strategies in our course and with MyTeacher Uzbekistan, because we know what you need to do to get these high scores. Do not answer questions in a general way. IELTS examiners do not like to hear kind of template or general answers for questions, okay? They hear them often and they give low scores. Does that make sense, everybody? It's an important tip. So you cannot get a high score in your IELTS exam by copying these templates, okay? Very important. All right. So then now that I have this, I can put it together. And just like with an event, when you talk about a person or an object or a place or an idea, there is a structure. There are pieces that you need to give good information. You can learn those pieces again in your full course at aehelp.com. Okay. So here with the event, just follow this pattern: location, time, people, activities, experience. The examiner says, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. The sport I really have a lot of fun playing each week is drop-in men's basketball. Basketball is about 100 years old. It's played with a bouncy ball, 2 baskets about 3 meters up on each side of a court, 5 players on each team. I play this game at a local gym, not too far from my place, about a 5-minute walk. It's at Cedar Hill High School. Me and a group of about 20 men rent this gym each Thursday from 7 till 9 p.m. When we arrive, we start by warming up for 15-20 minutes. We pass the ball to each other, we dribble, we take some shots, layups, 3-point shots. After we stretched and we're all warmed up, we start our first game. I really have a ton of fun. It's a great way for me to let go of the stress that I get from work and family throughout the week. It's also a fantastic way for me to stay fit and healthy and in good shape. So one of the games I enjoy playing the most, for sure, is basketball. And that's it. Okay, so go through those steps. Now, if I still have more time, I can look at my notes, I can look at the questions, and I can expand more. But that's basically the idea. Okay, so that's how it works. All right. Okay, so I've been talking your ear off, but hopefully that gave you a really good idea for this. Let's take a volunteer now to try to answer this question. Anybody who maybe prepared some notes, want to give this a try?
May I try?
Satora?
Yeah.
Yeah, Satora, go ahead. I can see you're
Good
excited to try. So let's go for it. Satora, why are you taking the IELTS, Satora?
So first of all, I'm a last year student, and now I'm studying in my last year bachelor's degree. And after finishing this degree, I want to study in my master's degree and abroad. And in this case, I want to get an IELTS certificate.
All right. What would you like to study in your master's?
I want to study teaching languages, foreign languages.
All right, language teacher. Awesome. Yeah, English is good to have for sure because it's the global language, right? So good. Okay, Satora, let me start you off and then you can start speaking. Okay, so here we go. That is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. Describe a game or a sport that you enjoy playing. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin.
So in this topic, I'm going to describe the sport which I like most. The sport is volleyball, which is played with many people. I mean, with team. So when I play, I like to play volleyball with my family members. Every once a week, I mean, on Sundays we will play this game with my relatives. I mean, my brothers and siblings. So and when I play this game, I enjoy from it because you know that I think doing outdoor activities it helps to develop our health and also playing this game we our legs and arms plays a main role, and you know that if our body moves more, we'll be healthier, and you know, every at the end of the week, I mean, on Sundays, we'll be very tired from work or study, and in this case, when we play this sport, our stress will realize, and how I can say.
Okay, I will stop you there. Your 1 minute time is up, and we will now go on to part 3. Okay, Satora, that was good. Thank you. You're really brave. Trying part 2 like this, of course, takes a lot of bravery. So good for you. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. So that was about a band 6. So you're fairly fluent for sure. You need to work a little bit more on grammar, accurate language, so word choice, choosing the correct words, and a little bit more on content, but from practice that will happen. Okay, so let me give you a little bit more specific feedback. So you said, so in this topic I'm going to discuss a sport. You don't need a lead in. Okay, be more natural. So just start with the sport which I like the most is volleyball.
Okay.
This sport is played on a court with a net in the middle. Just repeat me, Satora. This sport is played on a court with a net across the middle.
This sport is
played on a court with a net across the center.
On a court with
a net across the center.
Across the center, yeah.
There are 6 players on each side.
There are 6 players on each side.
The goal is to hit the ball to the other team.
The goal is to hit the ball in other team.
And not let the ball drop on your side.
And not let the ball to drop on your side.
The 3 basic moves in volleyball are
in the 3
basic moves
basic rule
in volleyball
are
bump,
set,
spike.
Bump, set, spike.
Bump, set, spike. Each round begins with a serve.
Each round begins with a serve.
I like to play volleyball outside.
I like to play volleyball outside.
In the sand or on grass.
In the sand or grass.
I usually play with my brothers and siblings.
I usually play with my brothers and siblings.
We play for about 2 hours every Sunday.
We play 2 hours every Sunday.
Okay, so that's how you build it up, and then you keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's what you want to do. So just adjust the language, right? Learn the vocabulary for volleyball, right? Obviously, there's some very clear vocabulary there for volleyball, and it's a sport you like to play. So a good way to learn English, everybody, and especially for these part 2 questions, when you have sports that you like to do, hobbies that you like to do, places you like to travel, really learn the English around your own experiences, around your own interests, because that can become very, very useful for your IELTS exam. So what you want to do, Satora, and this is for everybody, is write down who you are before your IELTS exam. So what you're learning, your master's degree, like for you, it's language education. Yeah. Your hobbies include playing volleyball. So write all that down and then read books, read articles that focus on you, on your habits, your activities, your characteristics. That will help you a lot during the IELTS. Does that make sense, Satora?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Have an awesome rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Who else would like to try? Anybody else want to try part 2?
Shall I?
Let's take a
Shall I
gentleman for part 2. Who was the gentleman that just chimed in?
Shall I try?
May I speak?
Shall I try?
I'm going to try to give everybody a chance, but who was the gentleman that just spoke in? So we had one lady. Let's try one gentleman for part 2.
I am.
Who's this?
I am.
And your name?
My name is Arab boy.
Zarabwe?
Arab boy.
Arabwe.
Araboy.
Arabwe. Okay, I think I got it. All right, we've got a little bit of a weak connection, but we'll try Arabwe. Okay, let's give Arabwe a chance at this. Okay, Arabwe, we'll give it a shot. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with your connection, but let's see if everybody else mutes their microphone. Yeah, I see you, Arabwe. I see you now. Arabwe, turn your camera off. Maybe that will help with the connection. Yeah, I see you there. Just turn your camera off, Arabwe. And then hopefully that will work. I think we lost Arabwe. All right, we'll come back to Arabwe. Maybe we'll give Arabwe a chance at part 3 if he's able to reconnect. Arabwe, I don't think we can do it because you need a better connection. You have to check your internet. Arabwe, we can't hear you. Your connection's not good enough. Can you try to turn your camera off? Arabwe, turn your camera off. If you turn your camera off, you might be able to have enough speed for the audio only.
Okay.
Okay, so just at the bottom of Zoom, you can see where the camera piece is. And if you click on that, it'll take your camera out and then it should help your bandwidth a lot.
I used first time Zoom. I never used.
Okay, Arabwe, just check your connection. We'll try somebody else, but I think it's not just me. I think nobody else can quite hear what you're saying. So Arabwe, you're going to have to troubleshoot on your end, okay? Let's try somebody else. Who else wanted to volunteer for this?
May I please?
Who's this?
Malika.
Shall I?
Okay, I think Malika, you already had a chance. So let's try somebody. Who's this? Somebody who hasn't had a chance yet.
May I speak?
Who's this?
Mehrankis.
Mehrankis. Okay, let's give Mehrankis a chance because she hasn't had a chance yet. So Mehrankis. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Mehrankis. Let me start you off and then give me a nice answer and I will give you some feedback. Okay, Mehrankis?
Okay.
All right. So Mehrankis, let's do this. So that is the end of part 1. Let's begin part 2. Describe a game or sport you enjoy playing. Your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay.
I want to talk about the best, my favorite game in the world. Sorry. This is chess, indoor game. Chess is the best known board game in the world, and this game's aim is to defeat each other. And I best friend also is my group mate, and I always plays chess after my university lessons in my class, in our university class, or we play together outside in our university's garden or field together. And I really enjoy playing chess because it can help to challenge of my of thinking my head. And I started playing chess 2 years ago. And after this time, I always play chess, and I always spend my free time with playing chess, and because it always helped me to down my stress and challenge of thinking my head. That's all.
Okay.
Sorry, I have some.
That's okay. No, that's good. No, that's okay. I got you. I got most of what you're saying. So it's good. All right. That's about a band 6. Okay. So you're fluent. You're fluent. You can talk fluently, and I can make sense of it. Okay. So I understand what you're saying. Definitely, you have quite a few grammatical mistakes, some word choice mistakes. So the grammar accuracy, word choice is about a 5, I would say. So what you want to do is you want to improve your grammar and you want to improve your lexical resource. So in this case, a good idea would be to read some books about chess and chess strategy, playing the game in English, of course. Okay. So you said, okay, I want to talk about my favorite game in the world. This is chess. It sounded like it took you a minute to say this. It's very important to be fluent in this first sentence. Okay, so this is why in the 1-minute preparation time, you want to prepare this answer. So before the examiner says, please begin speaking, you need to think about this sentence so that you can start very quickly. Okay, I want to talk about my favorite game in the world, chess. Okay, so when I say, please begin speaking, you can start right away. Let's try it. I'm going to say, please begin speaking, and just give me the sentence right away. Okay, so your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. I don't hear anything. Yes, you should repeat me. So as soon as I say, please begin speaking, just a sec. As soon as I say, please begin speaking, give this sentence to me right away. Okay, I want to talk about my favorite game in the world, which is chess. Okay, your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay, I want to talk about my favorite game in the world. This is chess.
Perfect.
It is the best known.
Yeah, no, just stop. So that was perfect. So that was only a 2-second delay. Okay. When you first did it, there was about a 10-second to 15-second delay. That's too much. Okay. So everybody, when you're practicing your IELTS and in your practice, your partner or your teacher says your 1-minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking. You should have 2, maybe 3-second delay. That's it. If you have a 10-second delay to start speaking, it's way too much. Okay. That's like 1/10 of your speaking time. It's way too much. You need to start speaking right away. It's very, very important. Okay. All right. The other important point is focus on natural, accurate English. Okay. So it always helps me to down my stress and challenge thinking my head. I understand what you're saying, but it's very inaccurate. So it helps to decrease my stress. Okay.
Okay.
And challenges my thinking. not your head, just my thinking. Okay. So don't overcomplicate, simplify. Okay. Repeat after me. It helps to decrease my stress and challenges my thinking.
It helps to decrease my stress and challenges my thinking.
Good. And even better, I'm amazed that chess helps to decrease your stress. When I'm playing chess with my friends, I always get really stressed, especially if I'm losing. So good for you. I find chess very stressful. So it's good for you that you decrease your stress with chess. For me, it's the
haven't got
opposite.
any ideas about it because I said that kind.
Okay, sure, you made it up, and that's fine. It's okay. The examiner does not judge you. I would not judge you on that. I might smile, but I would accept. Some people. My dad, he decreases his stress playing chess, probably because he always beats me and wins. But but for me, it's stressful. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. So repeat a lot of natural English. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye for now. All right. By the way, everybody, a big thumbs up to all of the volunteers. You're doing fantastic, and I know it's you have to be really brave to share your English with the world like this. So good for you. Okay, good for you. All right, let's jump to part 3. So before I jump to part 3, does anybody have a question about part 2?
Yes, I have question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Adrian, can I ask some question related to the part 2? For example, if we face in a real exam topic.
It's lucky. I'm listening. Okay, one speaker only. Let the lady finish, everybody. So if you're in the exam and you face a certain topic, yes, finish the question.
If we face in a real exam topic like this, favorite sport or game which we're playing, instead of the playing, can we describe the game or sport what we watch?
No, you can't. Good question. You can't go off topic because the questions are very specific. On another exam, they could have that question. So on a different exam, they might say, talk about a game or sport you enjoy watching that you don't actually play. The verb is very important. So if the verb is playing, then it's playing. If it's watching, then it's watching. If you start talking about a sport that you enjoy watching, there's a very good chance that the examiner will interrupt you after 1 minute and you will get a low score. So you have to be on topic. That was a very good question. Okay, everybody pay attention to that. You cannot. If you don't play sports, if you just watch sports, then pretend like you play that sport and talk about it like you're playing it. But you have to talk about playing it or doing it. You can't talk about watching it because that's a different question. Okay, so no, you cannot. You cannot go off topic like that. Okay.
If I'm keen on watching the tennis, I pretend that I play, somewhere.
Exactly.
Somewhere. Yes. If it is not real things, the examiner can feel this. It's not real.
Examiner does not care. No, they don't care. The IELTS is not about truth telling. You can make up a story, absolutely, and sometimes you have to. So no, it's not about the truth. It's about good English. The problem, if you talk about watching, is that the examiner doesn't know if you understood the question. So if you say that I like watching tennis, they think that you misread the question or you don't understand the question. But if you just talk about playing tennis, even though you don't play tennis, they don't care. They know that you're answering the question. Okay.
Okay. And answer the questions that appropriate the topic. Yes. In order not to be out of topic.
Yeah, you cannot. One of the worst situations is going off topic. The reason why, everybody, there's another reason for this. It's a very important reason. Some students, they memorize topics. So for example, a student will memorize talking about watching tennis. So they learn how to, before the exam, how to say, I like watching tennis on the weekends, the Wimbledon and the US Open. And so they look at the cue card and they go, oh, it's about sports. So I will talk about watching watching tennis because that's what I memorized before the exam. The IELTS examiners do not like that. So they think that, you know, if a student is off topic, it's maybe because they're trying to give a rehearsed or a practiced answer. And that's another issue with going off topic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you can't. You have to be on topic. All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're very welcome. By the way, students, in connection to that, when you're finished your part 2 answer, the examiner will ask you a question that's directly related to your response. Like they will say, for instance, what kind of table do you play chess at your university, or where is the table where you play chess at university? So they will ask you very strongly related questions to check and make sure that you're not just giving them a practiced answer. Okay. All right. Anybody else have a question for part 2?
I'm still here.
Yeah, you can ask me a question for part 2.
I'm still here.
Okay. You can
shall
jump
I
in
ask
if you have a question for part 2. Yeah, ask away.
I have a question, may I?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Should we use only academic words in order to get higher scores like 7 or 7+ scores?
No, absolutely not. In fact, you should use natural everyday words combined with advanced English. Technically, everybody, there's no category like academic words. It doesn't actually exist. Okay. There's just advanced vocabulary and everyday vocabulary. So what you want to do in your IELTS is use a combination of advanced vocabulary with everyday vocabulary. You want to use contractions without contractions. So for instance, you can use, I have been practicing chess for over a decade. Or you can also say, I've been playing chess for 10 years. So you want to use a combination of natural everyday language combined with well-placed advanced vocabulary. That combination gets you the highest points. Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much. And what about formal and informal language?
Same idea. Yeah, so it's the same idea. So use a combination. So for instance, when you're talking about the future, like this weekend, I will play basketball. On Sunday, I'm gonna meet up with 5 friends at the basketball court. So first one, very clear formal. On the weekend, I will play basketball. Second one, much less formal, colloquial, informal. I'm gonna play basketball with 3 of my friends, or I'm gonna shoot hoops with 3 of my friends. That combination gets you the highest scores. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. And what I recommend, by the way, just one more point for that formal, informal, start formal, then switch to informal. So show the examiner that you can use formal very accurately, and then you can use informal after to show the examiner that I can use informal as well. Okay. So formal, then informal. You're very welcome. All right, everybody, let's do about another 10 minutes and let's focus the last 10 minutes on part 3 questions. Okay, so part 3 questions, they are connected to part 2. It's following the same topic. That's why it's so important to have a really good part 2 response, because having a good part 2 response will really help you with part 3. Okay, so remember your part 2 cue card, remember your notes for part 2, remember the sports, the games, so chess, basketball, volleyball, football, keep all of them in mind, because that will help you with your part 3 questions. Okay, all right, so let's jump into part 3 and let's just do it through practice. So would somebody like to volunteer for a part 3 question?
Yeah.
Somebody who hasn't done it before, ideally. Let's give everybody a chance.
Can I?
May I?
Let's take a gentleman. Is that who's that? Is that?
My name is Azam. Yeah, Azam.
I heard an Abdullah. Is there an Abdullah there?
Azam. My name is Azam.
Okay, yes. Azam. Let's give Azam a chance. Azam, you didn't have a chance yet, right?
Yes.
Okay, Azam. Great. Azam, first question, why are you doing the IELTS?
I want to study abroad.
Okay.
To get PhD degree.
Sorry, I didn't catch that last word. Can you say that one more time?
To get PhD degree, I want
Okay.
to study abroad.
What will you study for your doctorate?
I am lawyer. I want to study
Law. Okay. What kind
human
of law?
rights.
Human rights law. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that. We need a lot of that. So good for you. I hope you make it. We need a lot of human rights in the world still, for sure.
I will try.
Okay. Well, let me help you with that. I definitely want to help you succeed in that.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's talk about sports. Why is it important for people to participate in sports?
I think participate in sports is important for many reasons. Firstly, it promotes physical fitness and helps to maintain a healthy body and mind. Regular exercise can reduce the risk of obesity, heart disease, and other health problems. And secondly, sports can help to develop social skills, leadership qualities. Through the sports, people can learn to work together towards a common goal, communicate effectively. That's all.
How can societies promote playing sports among their citizens?
I think government can invest in building and maintaining sports facilities such as parks, playgrounds, and sports centers to make them easily accessible to the citizens.
How have sports changed compared to ancient times?
In ancient times, I don't know what kind of sports were, but I know nowadays governments pay very many big attention to the sport activities, and
Okay, let's stop there. All right, I'm going to give you feedback. So you're definitely at the band 6.5 to 7, which is good. For a PhD, you need high scores. The supervisors usually like to see a band 8 in the speaking, which is very good level of speaking. I think you can get there. So first of all, your grammar and your vocabulary are outstanding. So your grammar, vocabulary are band 8. It's your fluency that's holding you back. So if you said the same answers just 20% faster, you would get a band 8. Okay. Ziza? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, can you remind me your name? I'm not sure if I'm
Azam.
Sorry, Azam. Thank you. By the way, it's a great name. I don't know why. It just reminds me of this genie. But anyway, Azam. Okay. All right, Azam. So yeah, so your language is really good. Everybody take notes. So there's some really nice language here. When I asked Azam, why is it important for people to participate in sports? Azam said, I think participating in sports is important for many reasons. Now, be careful with that, because sometimes candidates get stuck when they say many reasons. You need to say many reasons. But Azam did that. Azam gave us many reasons. So it was okay. It was good to do that. Just be careful with that many reasons. Okay. Careful with that, because if you can't give many reasons, it sounds really strange. And then you use some really nice English. You said it helps to promote physical fitness. Absolutely. It's great English. Helps to maintain a healthy body and mind. That's perfect natural English. It can reduce obesity. Obesity is extreme overweight people. Heart disease, really nice language, and other health problems. And then you gave me a secondly. You said, secondly, sports can help to develop social skills and leadership skills. People can walk together towards common goals. Absolutely. Okay. So that was really great, Azam. Just 20% faster, and it's a band 9 answer. Okay. Let's do this one more time. I will say it and then say it just much faster. Participating in sports is important for many reasons. It helps to promote physical fitness and helps to maintain a healthy body and mind. Try it, Azam.
I think participating in sports is important for many reasons. It helps promote physical fitness, helps to maintain a healthy body and mind. It can
stop there. Stop there. It can reduce obesity and heart disease and other health problems. Go for it.
It can reduce obesity and heart disease and other health problems.
All right. Now, Azam, the trick when you're practicing, and anybody who is like Azam, so you have good English, you have good grammar, good vocabulary, but you feel like it's a little bit slow, you need more fluency. The trick or the tip is to do the repetition with no reading. Okay, so do it just from hearing, just from sound, Azam. You following? Okay, so Azam, let's do this last sentence, but don't read, just listen and repeat. Listen and repeat only. Don't read and repeat. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, sports can help to develop social skills and leadership skills. People can walk together toward common goals.
Secondly, sports can help to develop social skills and leadership skills. People can walk together towards common goals.
Good. All right. So that's what I want you to do, Azam, and everybody else who feels they are kind of in the same situation where you have good grammar, good vocabulary, you just need more speed. Lots of repetition from listening only. And then Azam, you will be rocketing towards that band 8 mark. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Azam, thank you for volunteering. I appreciate that. Okay, let's take one more volunteer. Who would like to try? Okay, who is that?
I'm Lola.
Can I?
Lola, let's give Lola a shot. Lola hasn't tried yet, so let's give Lola a shot. Okay, Lola, why are you taking the IELTS?
The same case as Azam. Nowadays I delve into my research, and for my research, I think I'll take the exam. But last time I took exam, but the band was 6.
Okay. All right, Lola, I will help you out with that. Yeah. For the scientific community, English is very important. I published a couple of papers.
Yeah. It is a very crucial thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most journals that scientists read around the world are written in English, right? And you want to be able to write that research paper in English so everybody can read it, or most people can read it. All right, Lola, let's do this. So I will ask you a couple of questions and then give me some nice answers. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. How have sports changed compared to ancient times?
I think the sports changed and advanced a lot. It did a great strides around the world. We can watch and notice that the sports change and the same elements. The same elements are very difficult. For example, in figure skating, we have some difficulties for sportsmen, and some strenuous sport activities come out.
How will sports be different in the future?
Can you repeat the question?
How will sports be different in the future?
I think the sports can be more more active and popular. Oh, I have no idea for this question. I think in the future the sports can be advanced more.
Let's talk
than
about
more
games.
present.
What is the difference? Okay, Lola, I'm showing you an important point here.
Yes, I am so
if you
confused
say,
and so yes,
if you say I have no idea for this question, the examiner will interrupt you. Oh, you have no idea for the question. Let's go to the next one, right? So they'll interrupt you. Okay.
So I lose myself and
no problem,
confused.
Lola. Happens to many people, and I will show you how to stop yourself from doing that. Okay. So Lola, I think like with Azam, you have some good English. You just need better direction of what to do here. Okay. And that's the case with a lot of IELTS candidates, is your English is actually quite good. You just need to maneuver and adjust a little bit. So first of all, how have sports changed? What's the grammar here, Lola? How have sports changed?
How? It is a present perfect.
Right. So you, as I said before, you have to answer present perfect. You did not do that. Okay. Not clearly. So you need to clearly do that. Okay. What is ancient times?
Ancient and past times.
Yeah. And it's not like 10 or 20 years ago. It's like hundreds of years ago, like 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago, right? Azam's like, I have no idea, right? He was very honest. So here, keep your thoughts simple, okay? What changes a lot over the course of 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years? For humans, what changes a lot during these many, many years?
In the sphere of the sport, yeah?
In any field.
Change a lot.
Yeah,
because
what changes a lot?
it is a technology era.
There you go. Technology. Absolutely. See, that will come to mind for everybody. So when you think about the far past or even the past, when you're thinking about present, future, technology is an important one. There's another one too. So, and Azam is studying this for his PhD. What's another aspect that changed a lot for people over time? So technology is one. What's the other one? Did we have the country of Canada 1,000 years ago?
I should repeat this sentence.
No. Don't repeat. I'm just still asking you about change, Lola. So what changes over time? So you said technology changes a lot over time. What else changes over time? Society.
Some process in the some spheres, maybe some approaches change it a lot. For example,
keep it simple. Keep it exactly, Lola. Keep exactly approaches. So simply put, society, right? Social rules. So social norms, culture changes a lot, right?
Yeah.
So
introducing some laws, maybe set up some rules, for example.
Exactly. So I find that, you know, when students get into a very high level of education, like PhD, then sometimes those PhD and master's students tend to overcomplicate ideas. It's very important to go back to the simple, the basic, right? Especially for the IELTS. So don't overcomplicate your thoughts. Just copy the grammar, keep your thoughts simple. And this is a very important tip for everybody. Think about just general simple is not easy, but simple ideas, right? Like technology and society. And start with the grammar. So sports have changed greatly over the past few hundred years. Can you repeat after me? Sports have changed greatly over the past few hundred years.
Sports has changed rapidly over the past years.
Past few hundred years.
Past 100 years.
Sports have changed greatly over the past few hundred years.
Sports has changed greatly over the past years.
The technology has changed much.
The technology has changed much.
And society has also changed much.
And society has also changed much.
Hundreds of years ago, people loved violent sports.
Hundreds of years ago, people liked violent sports.
But these days, people like team sports much more, like football and basketball.
but nowadays people like team watch and
Team sports like basketball or football,
team sports
much more.
like basketball and football.
Right. So simple concepts. The question seems complicated or challenging, but your goal is to make it simple. Does that make sense, Lola?
Yes, and Mr. Adrian, while in sport, it is like a sport which make efforts.
Yeah, any physical activity, basically, physical activity that includes competition would be considered a sport. Okay.
And Mr. Adrian, how the technology can relate it to the sport? How the technology can change the sport?
So, for instance, the way that we have been watching sports, hundreds of years ago, people needed to go to the sporting event and watch it in person. Now, technology has made it possible for people to watch sports at home. Right?
It is related just for watching, but for playing or demonstrating, show offing, for example.
Well, the way that, for example, the way that we referee sports, right? So years ago, it was difficult to follow the rules of sports. Now, cameras and other devices have made it easy to follow the rules of sports, right? The technology to play the sports. So years ago, tennis rackets were made of wood. Now tennis rackets have been made of advanced materials like carbon fiber. So there's a lot of different places. Technology affects all aspects of human life for sure. So just think about it and you'll find it. Okay.
Okay. Good.
All right. The way people train for sports, right? So in the past, people used to train for sports in very natural ways, like running, lifting rocks and stones. Now people have very advanced machines to train them for sports. That's why we have some very advanced athletes, right? So lots of ways. Okay, Lola, thank you so much for sharing your English. And I hope that, by the way, what kind of research do you do? Just as the last, I'm curious.
My research devoted to the translation.
To translation. Okay,
yes,
that's exciting.
Translation terminology in the sphere geology. I compare the English terminology terms and the Uzbek, how their differences and similarities, and how the way to translate in an adequate way, in a proper way.
Awesome. Well, there's a lot of technology that has influenced that as well, for sure, especially now with the AI, right? Okay, Lola, thank you so much for volunteering. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Mr. Adrian, can I ask one question? And
one more question.
Yes, according to one and the last question. According to my answers, which point can I accept? For example,
that would have been about a band 6. So you're fluent, but you need to give more detail and better answers for sure. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, Lola. All right, everybody. So that brings us to the end of this session. We've been going for nearly 2 hours, and I'm sure some of you are starting to get a little English fatigued, but worry not. We've got more sessions for you coming up. And again, if you've got questions and those questions weren't answered, you can ask your teachers at myteacher.com. Or you can also send me an email to Adrian at aehelp.com, admin at aehelp.com. Again, a big thumbs up to all of the volunteers today. We had, I think, about 10 people volunteer roughly, so that was really great. Thank you so much. And I wish you a fantastic rest of your week. I'll give the attention back to Mr. Shardor. Mr. Shardor, if you're here, or if we have another representative from MyTeacher, I'll let you wrap it up for now. Okay.
And everybody, please turn off your microphone, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrea.
You're very, very welcome.
Yeah. Adrian, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Adrian. It was helpful for us.
You're welcome, everybody.
And I hope you haven't tired today. And okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Rahmat hammaga. So some people are watching us on YouTube. Thank you also to stay with us. So agar shu YouTube orqali bizni tomosha qilayotgan o'quvchilarimiz, agar siz ham Mr. Adrian bilan yana gaplashishni, mana shu o'quvchilarimiz safiga qo'shilib jonli muloqot qilishni istasangiz, marhamat, bizga murojaat qiling. Bizning raqamlarimiz sizda bor. Telegram orqali, Instagram orqali va hokazo murojaat qiling va kurslarimizga yoziling. Sizlarga imенно bugungi Mr. Adrianning darsidan keldim deb aytsangiz, sizga chegirmalar qilib beramiz. Endi bugungi darsda mabodo qatnasha olmay qolgan bo'lsa o'quvchilarimizga uzr so'raymiz. Uzr so'raymiz va o'ylaymanki keyingi darslarda sizlarga ham navbat beradi. Ozgina aktiv bo'ling va internetingiz yaxshi bo'lsin. Internet sifatli joyda o'tirgan bo'lsangiz va ozgina aktiv bo'lib qo'l ko'tarib Zoomni funksiyalarini to'liq o'rganib olsangiz, hammaga navbat bo'ladi. Hammaga navbati bilan xudo xolisa navbat bo'ladi. Bundan tashqari yana kelayotgan payshanba kuni speaking darsimiz bor. Payshanba kuni va unda ham qatnashing, unda ham native speaker bilan dars bo'ladi. Shunaqa gaplar. Thanks everybody. Thanks Mr. Adrian. Bye for now and see you.
Bye everyone. See you again. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.